So for those of you that don't know, one of my absolute favourite genres of horror are these retro PSX style horror games that indie companies have been making recently. So you can imagine my excitement when a new release came out by one of my favourite developers. In Parasocial, we play as a streamer who seems to have a rather troubling fan introduce themselves into our life. Now there is a lot you probably won't be expecting in this game, so I think we should waste no time and get straight into it. So don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and let's begin. Welcome to the Achievement Grind. The game begins with our character awakening at the ridiculous time of 7:30, ready for us to stream to the masses. However, since our bestie Asuka left some food in the fridge for us, it's best we probably quickly demolish that before we go live. We eat the delicious food, activate our avatar, load up our game, and click that live button. Now the game that we play is certainly an interesting one, however viewers are tuning in by the hundreds to see us play this, so we get straight to it and explore this rather bizarre and very hard to see house. I think it's a house anyway. Now this game doesn't last long, as even with the incredible wise words of the chat, we soon find ourselves on the pain end of a weird monster that instantly kills us. With us not wanting to play the entire game again, we decide to move on. That's when one of the lovely members of the community send a game that is custom made for us, which is oh so lovely, so we install it and boot it up. Now no offense to the person that sent this, but this game is what we call in the industry as a pile of shite. It only takes around 5 minutes to complete, and honestly it would take even shorter if it wasn't for the terrible controls around the keypad. Honestly, these games we play while streaming are a nightmare to control, and as you can see hee-haw, so make of that what you will. We clear the level eventually and beat the game. However, the unimaginable happens. Our avatar drops and the chat get a lovely look at the real us, something we certainly did not want to happen. And speaking of not wanting to happen, when we end we also get a message saying that we need to keep streaming the games that we are sent or bad things will happen. We say sod off you little glob of tuberculotic sputum, and we go and answer the door. Oh wait, well we would, but there isn't anybody there. However, we have some mail, simply saying that they are always watching me. Totally fine and nothing to worry about, so we carry on. We then wake up at our desk with an update saying that our favourite system is virus free, which I suppose is decent. However, it's time for the highlight of any streamer's life, taking out the rubbish. When we collect it and travel downstairs, the first thing that we see is a police officer using a pair of tongs to collect litter apparently. He asks a lot of odd questions to us as well, including where we live, if we live alone, which is always a good sign I suppose. He's eager, he's keen to protect us, but he eventually gets back to work. Unfortunately though, that isn't the weirdest thing to happen outside. Why is everyone significantly taller than me? I wasn't expecting him to move. Yep, simple movement made me jump. Phenomenal. However, a little while later, Asuka comes over to visit and we both go out for a spot to eat at a rather familiar establishment. This is the coffee shop that you work at in Closing Shift, another game made by Chilla's Art. However, there are more important matters here, as when we have a look at a single bag of waifu coffee on the shelf, we unlock thank you for the support, for examining a supporter item, which is fine I suppose, as with that we are on the board. We place our order at the counter and go to meet the locals of this friendly establishment, whilst we wait for our perfect brew to be blended. And apparently we also talk to every single person in and outside of the shop, as we also unlock the next achievement, long time no see. Look at that folks, already well on the way now. But before we can get too friendly with the patrons, we grab our order and sit down for some rather awkward conversation with Asuka, as she warns us the dangers of being a content creator. Like I don't know that. During this lovely conversation, however, a rather strange long-faced man makes himself known. I mean, I think he was trying to be subtle, however, since he never broke eye contact once and didn't even eat a bite of his delicious matcha cake, that is certainly a red flag. When we tell Asuka to look behind her as well, she does it in a way I don't think anybody was expecting. However, it's time to go back home. I'm sure nothing sudden and scary happens when we get into this lift. No! Bastard. However, even with the most bizarre of days, we load up our stream and play another game, hoping to take our mind off all of the events past. This one is again over in minutes and has you simply escort a woman with no eyes to a door whilst trying to avoid the police. And no, I'm not joking in the slightest. Once done, we get hundreds of congratulation messages and decide to call it a night there. Now, after such a phenomenal game like that, the only option is to obviously have a lovely soak. We hop into a bath made of rather green and textureless water, but something again rather bizarre happens. The bathroom door opens itself and the music gets all spooky and intense. However, for some reason, we just don't think anything of it and get right back to our night. Once again, we wake up and have some more mail under our door, but thankfully it's just a note from the building manager saying to call them if we do need anything, which is lovely. So to celebrate our new relationship with management, we stream the next level of the Eyeless Woman game, and beat that too, once again ending stream when we do. However, hunger gets the better of us, so it's time for us to go and get some scran from Uber Eats. Now, being a lazy bastard, we order some food in. Now, I have ordered my fair share of food online, trust me. However, I have never ever had it arrive in a single minute, because it does here and in 1 minute the driver arrives. We open the door and he asks what we ordered, which is very odd that he doesn't know our order, but we are soon proven that our suspicions was immediately correct as he starts melting, saying that he is a fan of our streams. He tells us to be careful and then just leaves. We are left foodless, but not achievementless, as we unlock the next Uber Eats. But since that avenue of foodly delights was closed, it's time to nip to the shops. We also bump into the building manager who introduces herself and, just like the policeman, immediately asks if we live alone and just straight up asks far too many personal questions. So once again, we tell her to swivel on it and head on our way. On the way to the shops, we meet several interesting characters. We've got the hooded man, the businessman, Godlax the destroyer of worlds, and that last one came with her own boss music. However, meeting Andre the Giant aside, we grab our food, notice the hooded bastard from the coffee shop again just loitering outside, and even bump into our ex-boyfriend. He sprints up on us saying that he is here to warn me as our friend Asuka is acting rather suspiciously. He tells us to message him as he has the evidence, but right now only food is on our mind, so we take our leave. Now, as you'd expect, the shiny hooded git starts to follow us, so we give him a taste of his own medicine. You know what, we're gonna embrace him, what do you want, prick? Yeah! That's what I thought. Go on, now you wanted a selfie or something. Come on, introduce yourself, prick. Didn't like that, did you bastard? However, he vanishes at the door and then miraculously rematerializes on the floor above us. We stare at his horse head before sprinting home, and he just stands there menacingly. I'm so sorry, such a stupid joke. We head inside to tell Asuka how freaked out we are, and she says unfortunately there isn't anything that can really be done, so we just need to lock the doors and be careful. However, our judgment gets the better of us. We unblock our ex for this damning proof that he has, and to be fair to him, it is pretty incriminating as it shows Asuka talking to our shiny hooded man. And things just get weirder from there as our avatar seems to now have a life of its own, and it warns us that we're abandoned and forever alone before our system just completely caves in. Come on, that ain't right. Now, for the lack of better word, shit hits the fan here, as the man is outside tapping on our window now. We leave the room and he has already managed to make his way indoors. However, when we start getting messages on our phone, we think that he is on our PC. Wait, is he on my PC? So this time instead we managed to sneak past him and find a screwdriver that was conveniently placed inside of the cupboard, and then we stab him in the back with it. With our attacker down for the count, we go to run to the police station. However, when we do, Asuka appears and stabs us in the stomach. Turns out our ex was right. Or well, maybe he wasn't, as it was all just a bastard dream. We love a good dream plot twist, definitely not a cliche that people just need to stop implementing into their media. Anyway, we live and we go about the new day. We decide that enough is enough and it's time to go to the police. However, when we get there, the policeman officer from before makes a second appearance to say that he is all ears to listen to our problem, but we need to go and talk at the park and not in the station. A red flag if you've ever seen one. And for some stupid reason, we just go with him and explain our situation. He says that there isn't much he can do, unfortunately. However, he gives us his personal phone number saying that it will take too long to call the police, and he will always be closer. So I personally thought immediately that it is this policeman. Because like, what? We head indoors, decide not to call Asuka, and go back to our PC to try and have a nice evening. It doesn't work, of course, as the game that we play on stream is one that follows the exact path that we take to get home from the shop, even to the point where we find our flat and let ourselves into it. The game ends when the character we play as reaches the PC, and so does the stream. However, before we can leave, we then get a video of somebody taking footage of us streaming, in the bath, and even asleep. We need to contact someone, and my first instinct, honestly, was our ex. We're not calling the police, and we're definitely not calling the dodgy building manager, so Rikia will have to do. He says that he's surprised to hear from us, but he is on his way. For now, we just have to hide as the stalker is entering the house. So, of course, we hide in the cupboard. Yeah, I don't like the fact that I can hear shit moving. Oh, don't come over here, please, please. Hey! Hey! Fuck! Two times! Yeah, double jump scare, how great is that? But the stalker gets us, and we then wake up on the floor with somebody standing over us. But apparently our ex has just arrived and he chases the stalker out. And that's the game. We read that the stalker has been caught and he was somebody who thought that we were in a parasocial relationship. What a creep. However, the trouble is over, and the next scene has us getting coffee with our new heroic boyfriend. He nips to go and get me some flowers from the toilet? Like, genuinely have no idea. Whilst he's in there finding flowers, we then bump into Asuka again, who then shows us a picture of Rukia paying the stalker man. This was the bad ending, and Rukia was behind it apparently. But by choosing poorly, we also unlock the achievement, something is not right. However, with a message saying that we should have trusted Asuka, we restart the checkpoint and go for the ending that is much more preferable. In this timeline, we unblock her and invite her over. She arrives for protection and we go back to streaming. However, during our stream, Asuka walks over and says that she needs to go and get some food from the shops, as we have none in, and that she will only be a minute. And but a perfect time to leave me alone, wonderful. But after a little while, we realise that she has taken far too long, and when we go to call her, we hear her phone on our next door neighbour's balcony. We, for some reason, just let ourselves in and witness the ultimate shrine to us, the PC where the video was sent, a board with some lovely snapshots of us on it, and most importantly, Asuka in the bath tied up and telling us to run to the police station. Good call too, as Rukia then comes straight home and somehow doesn't see us slip out. We sprint from our front door and start to get tailed by somebody. We then take the lift and sprint out, only to be stopped by the building manager, saying that we shouldn't be out this late and we need to go home. She even offers to escort us back, which we say, sod off you git, and run outside, to be immediately stopped by the police officer again, who says the exact same thing. When we say sod off to this gent, he then chases after us instead. We use all of our leg power that we can muster to make it to the police station, and once inside, we then cut to a new story about 4 people being arrested for breaking, entering, and harassment. The ex-boyfriend, the stalker, the fake police officer, and the hotel manager were all for some reason in on it. I cannot for the life of me understand why 3 people would help one lonely boy harass me for the sake of a relationship, but there we are. They are all arrested and the ordeal is over for us. We sit down and have a lovely meal with Asuka, who then also explains that the boyfriend set up that meeting that we saw as his evidence, as the random man went over to Asuka and just said nothing whilst Rikiyu took photos. So we apologise and she understandably and thankfully forgives us. And then she also tells us about a new game. Now, the game that she recommends is actually another real game that Chilla's Art made, the Convenience Store. She says how amazing the game is and how we should go and play it immediately, which is a weird plug, but you know, whatever. But for getting the good ending, we finally get our last achievement, meat and potatoes. My god, you really do actually have to respect that plug, don't you? That was bold. However, with all 5 achievements hunted and achieved, the grind is over. Now, as I said, I absolutely adore PSX horror games, and Chilla's Art makes some of the best out there. However, it does go without saying that unfortunately this isn't their best work. Now, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it and it doesn't take too long to finish whatsoever, so I would absolutely recommend a playthrough or two, but it is certainly one of the weakest that I've played from this company. However, enough teasing, let's just get to the stats. For Parasocial, it took only a mere 2 hours to grind all 5 achievements that this game has. For the rating, I'm going to be giving this a 5 out of 10. As I said, it was fun to go through and it was a decent twist with all 4 of them being connected and in on it. However, I won't be returning to this game anytime soon. I think this game is also significantly less scary than the ones that came before it, and I don't know, it was just kind of missing that little bit of polish that I am actually quite used to seeing from Chilla's Art game, but I still think a 5 out of 10 is respectable. For the difficulty of the achievements, I'm going to be giving it a 1 without question. Talking to people, picking up coffee and ordering food is the highest of this challenge, so anyone and everyone should easily be able to scoop this 100% up. The hardest achievement, if I had to give it to one, I suppose would be to go for talking to people. They're all easy and there is no reason why I picked this one, but sod it. With that done, however, Parasocial is done, and do not worry, there will be plenty more games such as this making appearances in the future, so make sure that you like and subscribe for the rest. And next week, folks, we have a rather special video, as it is time to take on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The brand new Texas Chainsaw Massacre has you playing both as victim and family, trying to kill and trying to escape. escape. But what I'm going to be trying to do is grinding all 51 achievements that it has. And trust me, this is what we call a grind. So I hope to see you all next Sunday for it. Also, don't forget to swing by my Twitch where we go for the achievement grinds live as well. It would be lovely to have you. And once again, thank you to all of my amazing supporters on Patreon. I really do appreciate the additional support, folks, and it really truly means a lot. So thank you all so much. However, folks, that's all from me today. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next achievement grind. Take care. Bye-bye for now.